If Mary's Germander is a banker miniature ball, which you saw just now, then one of my banker miniature decks is Marston Susan. I've got 47 plants in this one bed. They're grown 16 up because it's enormously big and you have to be very careful for oversize, so I lightly disbud it. And I've just started disbudding. I've taken a few buds at these sort of size, which I hope will make the bank holiday, and then you can't miss. There's probably 700 blooms going to come on that bed, so there's probably 120 buds taken at each stage, so there should be a good vase or two along the way. I think with Kenora Challenger, it always looks awful right the way through the season, and it still does now. They all look all different sizes and shapes and God knows what, and it's not till they grow up about 3 foot in height and they've got decent sized buds in the middle that they start looking a plant. They're very low growing in the early stages, and that's normal. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just a habit of the variety, and as the bud gets bigger, the plant gets taller, and it improves. So they're all over the place. I've taken about 27 buds so far, and there's a lot to come. There's 72 plants, all grown 4 up, and again that ends the covers. 12 beds of covers, probably about 450 plants under cover, and that's the covered area. I don't normally cover any miniatures. I reckon to cover all smalls, all mediums, and all large or giants. But poms, miniatures, I've never covered a one until this year when I put Decara Kent under cover because of its white spots problems. These are my poms. There's 45 pom-pom plants in this bed. You've got 2 rows of Gert the Twilight and 2 rows of Willow's Violet, and I disbudded them for the first time this morning. Tiny little buds like that I would hope would take me to bank holiday weekend. I don't go far down the stem. I normally go 1 pair down, leave the second pair on like that, and then flower them. And whatever happens, if they're a bit big, I'll water a little lighter. I'll leave the extra pair to stay on. If they're a bit small, I'll disbud down another pair and give them a feed, and play it by ear. So I don't waste any blooms on any varieties. I always think any blooms that flower before your first flower show could have been tacked on the other end and may take you to Melbourne, may take you to Harrogate or whatever. So that's just my little way of doing it. And I always worry and sweat whether I'm going to make the bank holiday because I'm so tight in the timing department, but it pays at the end when I go to Melbourne, or I can go strong to Harrogate, and it's just my way of playing the game. A lot of people flower, are quite happy to have loads of flowers out in early August, mid-August. Not me. There wouldn't be a flower out, even on the new varieties. They'd all be knocked back so they flower in the show period. Just my way of doing it. These are all miniatures, or mainly miniatures. This is a bed of Rycroft Jan, grown 8 up. Grow it strong. It's not a big variety. It's not going to be like Susan Marston Susan, which will go oversized. It's unlikely you're going to get Rycroft Jan oversized. So therefore you're growing it for power. You're growing it for size. You're growing it for strength. And 8 up is about right for me. Miniature deck white is Mary's Rycroft Jan. Rossendale Lewis, it's the first time I've grown Rossendale Lewis, and I must say, as a plant, it's bloody awful. It's one of the worst varieties as an attractive, healthy plant, and I grew it last year and I pulled them all up. I had 15 plants and I pulled them out the ground. I was so disgusted with the habit of it, and I thought, this thing is virused. And it's not right. It is not right. But I've got friends that grew it and they had magnificent blooms, and I've gave it the benefit of the doubt this year, and it's going to grow tall, as you can see, and I'm sure the blooms are going to be fine, but as a healthy looking plant it isn't. And I've got 30 plants Rossendale Lewis. I'm going to grow it 9 up. It's a yellow miniature deck, and when it's right it's magnificent. It can blow its centre, it can come clock faced, but if you can get it right it can also be very, very good. So 30 plants of that. Then we've got 30 plants of Rycroft Yellow Orb, which is your yellow miniature ball from Phil Godsmark. I grow that 9 up, and again they're all about the same stage. You would find buds in every variety that we've seen so far. And again, I took about 40 or 50 buds of both of these three, or all of these three, yesterday. And again, 9 up, yellow miniature ball, very good. I like it. I'm growing Germander as a small ball because there are classes, cup classes at both national shows now. I was hoping to get one called Western Folly, which I really did like when I saw it at Harrogate, but unfortunately it didn't come on the market, so we couldn't get it. But I will try that next year. So I've stuck by the old Germander, which you can show as a miniature ball or you can show as a small ball, and I'm hoping to grow it 10 up as a small ball. They're not going to be massive, but hopefully they'll have a bit of refinement and they won't go through the miniature ring, because as a judge that is the criteria. If they go through the miniature ring and the guy's showing them as a small ball, that's a problem. It's a problem for me when I judge. They should be over the miniature ring if they're being shown as a small ball. So I'm hoping to grow it 10 up and have blooms bigger than the miniature ring. That's Germander. This is a Bed of Dave's Choice, which is a white with lavender flush miniature ball, and nice even set of plants, which I like to see. Doesn't matter a lot, but it's nice to see a set like that. They're grown 8 up. They're lightly disbudded. I disbud it, or actually I disbud it right the way down, and you can see what I do here. I pick a bud size that is the optimum bud in my mind for the bank holiday weekend. So a bud like that, I would say, yep, that's about three weeks and a couple of days, which the bank is a Wednesday today, and I'll be cutting Saturday plus 3 days, so 3 weeks plus 3 days, so we're looking at about 24 days. That will easily make that. So I took 80 buds at that stage yesterday, and then when I came across buds that were slightly bigger than that, that's what I do. I take the bud out, I take the wing buds out, and I allow one side shoot to replace the original bud. And I go down the stem, so I haven't got a gooseberry bush with shoots everywhere, and I would take out the other side shoots and make the decision that is going to be the bloom. When is that bloom going to bloom? I don't know. Surrey, Harrogate, a later show. You're not going to get that for the National. The National is going to come off these other breaks here. So you've got a continuity. You've got the continuity of showing strongly for 3 weeks of 45 blooms or 45 plants, grown 8 blooms to a plant. You've got to remember it's a lot of bloom running for you, and you've got to even it out over a long period if you're going to get your money's worth. This is a new one from Australia called Formby Crest. I grew it last year. It's a really good variety. It's as good as anything in the miniature decks. It's bronze. It's massively big. I couldn't get a ring near it last year, and I haven't got as big plants as I like, but I've got 27 plants, and unlike me that wants to disbud everything that's got a P on it, I'm always disbudding. But not this variety. I've had to tie my irons behind my back for this variety because it wants a gentle hand. I haven't got gentle hands, I like to get at them. But this one really needs a light treatment unless you're going to have something about a 5-inch miniature, which I can't show. A few new varieties I'm trying. That's a new giant deck called Glenmark Cadena from Australia. Formby Monarch from Tasmania, new giant. Then my last miniature deck, 5 miniature decks I've got. This is the 5th one. This is called Barbary Pip. They tell me, I've never grown it, they tell me it's not that big, so I've grown it 7 up, and I run it really for the National, so I was a bit drastic when I disbudded it, and I didn't take any bud. I knocked every bud out like that. So when I wrote my little list out of how many buds I actually disbudded off these 30 plants yesterday of Barbary Pip, 0. Because I want it for the National, and perhaps Harrogate, and grown 7 up, 30 plants. You're only looking at about 200 blooms, and I want them to be at the shows I really need them. I don't need them for the Essex show. I've got plenty of other miniatures for that. This is one I don't like the look of, but it's going to grow tall, and I've had some blooms in pot tubers out. It's called Western Stardust, and I've got 24 Western Stardust as a miniature cactus. There's a couple of cup classes at the national shows where you need a miniature cactus, so that's what my only miniature cactus. Grown about grown everything up really. I haven't really taken any breaks out of it. I get frightened with the miniature cactus after Western Pirate last year, where every bloom wanted to go oversized. I've sort of, again, you've got to have a bit of a light hand, you can't go in too hard if you're going to have oversized blooms. And the last of them, I don't normally grow a medium outside, but it did very well here last year, and this one is called Grenador Pastel, and it's a medium semi-cactus, pink and yellow, and it's grown about 7 up. And that's the end of my little plot. The best thing on the plot though are the runner beans, don't you think?